night to everyone. Tonight,
I wish to update the nation on the development of the national security architecture and also give an update on what has happened since the national security strategy was put in place. I also wish to address the issue of the Alternative Lifestyle Pathway program and to give you also an update on that particular initiative which addresses the plight of our at-risk groups. Finally, I will speak briefly on the importance of social interventions and inclusions. Following the approval of the National Security Strategy in 2020, the document was printed and made public in January of 2021. The National Security Strategy addresses the threats identified by the nation, the manner in which they will be dealt with, the tasks and responsibilities of all concerned. It is a whole of government and society approach to securing the nation and its interests. Implementation of the strategy is done through the conduct of organizational reviews. Ministries, departments, and agencies have been issued with their copies. They are required to commence their reviews in keeping with the directions provided in the strategy. This is an individual organization responsibility. However, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of National Security and myself are available throughout the process to assist where needed. The purpose of these organizational reviews is something that I think we need to be very much aware of. They are needed to ensure that organizations are capable of carrying out the tasks and responsibilities mandated, and also to ensure adequate planning for restructuring if necessary, taking on new or discarding old responsibilities, and obtaining resources where there might be shortfalls. The process allows the government, its ministries, departments, and agencies to plan adequately for the future. The review of the Ministry of National Security, its agencies and departments was conducted on the 5th of March 2021. At least that's when it started, and the agencies and departments are presently continuing that particular process. Upon completion, a submission will be made to the ministry, then the cabinet for their consideration and approval. The National Security Strategy is itself subject to a review every 3 or 5 years, or as is necessary, dependent upon the degree to which threats impact or are projected to impact the nation. The Alternative Lifestyle Pathway Program. This program of engagement began on the 13th of March 2019 as a result of a number of factors, namely surges in crime in September of 2018, resulting in the launch of Operations Enduring Safety and New Dawn by the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. The positive impacts of those operations and the events of February 2019, which resulted in an unprecedented number of homicides in a 2-week period, was followed by requests being made to the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force by the warring factions at the time to assist them in resolving their issues. Quite a lot has happened since then. We have now rolled out Phase 3 of the Alternative Lifestyle and Pathway Program. This commenced in 2020, November 2020, with a more structured approach for its management and deliverables, all of which take place in a very dynamic environment. The opportunities provided by this rollout are basically as follows, or I'll give you a separate synopsis. Basically, the program has 4 established sectors of operation. St. Kitts has 3, and Nevis has 1. In St. Kitts, we have the West, Central, and East sectors. And in Nevis, as I said before, there is 1 sector. Each sector is assigned a field officer who sees to the day-to-day administration of the groups in that location. Project oversight management teams, or initial engagement teams as they were originally known, we have 1 each in St. Kitts and Nevis, and they continue to interface with the groups and ensure the implementation of and adherence to the program requirements. There is a review management board and management committee in place which meets twice monthly to discuss issues and see to the program's delivery requirements. Apart from what I mentioned, we have started to embark on a program of establishing partnerships with the wider society. We have a partnership, or we're engaged, we have started to engage the St. Christopher National Trust, the Ministry of Tourism, and the Ministry of Agriculture, to name a few. The agricultural engagement is particularly important from the perspective that we have had a large number of persons who have, from the Alternative Lifestyle Program, who have been displaying a very keen interest in that aspect. We have started to roll out, or not to roll out, we have started to plan and really begin the rolling out of a program known as the Life Skills Training and Exposure Program. This, at this particular moment in time, is being finalized. It has been a very long time in the making, right? But it has been impacted somewhat by the COVID-19 pandemic and the protocols by which we all have to observe for our own safety. Essentially, the program has two basic components: soft skills and hard skills. Soft skills entail teaching persons basically to write job applications, doing interviews, interpersonal relationships, communicating effectively, anger management, integrity, exercising responsibility, conflict resolution, stress management, financial and business education, values and attitudes, parental guidance, the law and society, and civic responsibilities. Hard skills, on the other hand, entails electrical and mechanical engineering, plumbing, culinary arts, drywall partitioning, stone cutting, appliance repairs, developing and managing entities, carpentry and joinery, masonry, computer skills, and some higher academic qualifications. The intention is to have successful participants receive the appropriate national certifications on completion of their respective programs. We intend, therefore, to continue engagements with the relevant institutions authorized to award certifications in order to make this a standard component of the opportunities offered by the program. Whilst we are doing this, we continue to be mindful of the victims of violence. They are also part of the at-risk groups in society. So we continue to compile a list of such persons, which will be passed to the relevant authorities for their appropriate actions. Since March 13th, 2019, we have come a long way. The Federation has continued to experience marked reductions in homicides by the gun and shootings. Citizens continue to enjoy the ability to move about freely with little or no fear of experiencing acts of extreme violence. Establishments continue to report a better environment in which to do business. The participants in the program have continued to take up opportunities offered, and some have since moved on, establishing their own businesses or completed apprenticeship programs. The program has therefore continued to add value through increased safety, security, and stability in the nation, while equipping our at-risk groups to become better citizens. As I said before, we have projections for greater social inclusion, and so we'll continue to engage at-risk groups in meaningful ways. We'll continue to engage the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, religious bodies, non-government organizations, volunteers, citizens in general, ministries, departments, and agencies to partner with us to help us to realize our goals and objectives and create and maintain safe, secure, and stable environments. We're also mindful of other aspects of the society, for argument's sake. We have a proposal before the Review Management Board that will be looking at how we can assist persons to be released from Her Majesty's prison after incarceration. This is aimed at reducing the stigma attached to incarceration and enhancing the individual's reorientation and reintegration into society. It also recognizes the need to reduce the incidence of recidivism, which is high at the moment. The proposal makes possible the nation's ability to maximize its potential. There are many highly qualified persons in Her Majesty's prison who are already considered rehabilitated and contributing to the nation's development in critical areas. They will need a second chance in life once released. Social interventions are critical aspects of the national security architecture. As an example, I highlight the Explorers Youth Club's movement. It is the largest enrollment of youth and parents of any movement in the Federation. If I recall correctly, it has a membership of well over 1,200 persons at this particular moment in time, and it is still growing. The overall objective has continued to be one focused on improving the social environment by way of exposing participants to proper values and attitudes, addressing social deviances, developing and nurturing proper attributes, and providing the correct influences for our youth. It has an ideal partnership to accomplish its objectives, namely that of the Ministry of National Security, the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, parents and children working together for a better future. The activities and contributions of other approved youth groups and organizations are complementary and therefore equally important and should be fully supported in moving forward to ensure that we do not fuel the cycle of crime and violence. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Major General Stewart Saunders.